What's up, everybody? Robby Scaredo. You can see we're in the AC room today. Jim, how's it going?
It's been a busy week, man.
Okay, so I'm gonna drop something on you. Okay.
Yeah.
This is okay. Audience, watch this because I didn't tell him anything about this, so it's gonna get real for a minute.
I'm getting nervous.
Yeah, no, you should be. No. See, what I try to do is be very transparent in what we do. So when something happens behind the scenes, and I think it's appropriate, I think that our audience should know how much we put into making this show a reality every week. And so I want you guys to know as our audience, and you know what? We're going to switch. We're not going to call you audience anymore. We're going to call you family. Okay. And we're going to let you in on something. About a month ago. And see, this the thing is, Jim is such a humble person. He's such a hardworking dude that he won't even mention this. But he almost lost sight in his left eye a month ago. All this visual that you see, this background, the studio, the structure, the actual physical building of all this is Jim. This is all Jim. And so we almost lost that vision a month ago. Jim, can you just give a little background on what happened?
Yeah, you're going to put me on the spot. But yeah.
Because if I told you ahead of time, you would have overthought it.
I mean, you kind of take for granted your vision, right? And you just walk outside and you think, I got two eyes, two kidneys, whatever, right?
Yeah.
You just kind of go with it. But I walked outside and I started seeing some black tadpoles flying in my eye.
You described them as tadpoles.
Yeah, they're big. They weren't just floaters, and they were really big. And then they collaborated the next night down to a mass on the bottom left on my left eye, and I had a prescription or a doctor's visit in January.
But you were very casual about it when it happened.
Well, because I didn't. I mean.
Yeah, no, I was too. I was like, you should just go optometrist, check it out. I didn't expect the phone call that I got later.
Well, it was happening so fast that I was kind of nervous, and my wife was like, maybe you should call and just kind of look it up, have them look at it. And I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm a photographer. My eyes are important.
For everything.
Depth, everything. And eyes are important to everybody. So I called them and I told them what was going on, and they said, yeah, we need to get you in here. There's something going on this is not normal. So I went in, and within 24 hours, I was under the knife. I mean, they literally.
You were like surgery. I'm like, what?
Yeah. So I had my retina had detached from my eyeball on my left eye, and they said it was being held on by two strands of nerves.
Yeah.
That if those two strands had broke, I would have been 100% permanently blind on my left eye. And I was like, yeah, are you kidding me? And so we went in. Dr. Thendu was Thendu. Brilliant surgeon, did a phenomenal job.
Shout out to Dr. Thendu.
So he went in and said it was 100% successful, and now I'm just kind of going through the process of recouping. So I'm blind. I'm not blind, but I'm blurred in my left eye.
Yeah.
And it's just taking the time to go back. So now my cataracts is kind of off and stuff. But yeah, this is just. You get older, man. I'm 52 years old. It's kind of scary. You don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, no, it was scary for all of us, and I know there was a prayer crew involved. Shout out to the men's prayer group that I texted out there.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you out to all the prayers. To me, it really matters. It really makes a difference. And so he's not 100%, but he's with us, and he's getting his vision back slowly by slowly. So.
And I thank you, Robert, for pushing our shows back, because you were like, I was able to do it with one eye.
Check this out.
You kept saying like, let's push it back. Let's push it back.
He's like 2 days out of surgery, and he's like, hey, are we going to the studio? I go, no, we're not going to the studio.
So I'm like, let's do it. No. And that's not to give myself credit or what we're doing, but I mean, we love what we're doing. This is kind of not a hobby. This is something that we were passionate about.
Yeah.
It's 100 degrees. We're down in the studio with AC. We're still doing it. We're bringing in guests, and thank you guys for actually showing up and being a part of what we're doing. But yeah,
today's
awesome.
guest, like I didn't pay for all. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I didn't expect all this.
Yeah. So
we're gonna without further ado, we'd like to introduce our guest today. This is the longest introduction we've ever done. Before someone comes in, poor Carlos is like, oh man, I didn't expect all this. It got all personal on me. But yeah, we just had to do that, and I didn't want to really throw it out there because I know Jim would probably tell me, no, I'm good. Shake it off.
I'm good.
Just rub some dirt on it.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're glad he's here. Thank you all for being here today. If you enjoy what we're doing, like and subscribe. Understand the level of sacrifice that Jim puts into this every week to make it look the way it does. And so
if I didn't love it, I wouldn't do it. If I didn't love it, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. No, that's always his answer. And so if you want to continue to pray, and prayer is a part of your life, continue to pray for the health of Jim and his sight. Thank you very much. And with that being said, our guest today comes from Visalia, California. I'm just going to say entrepreneur extraordinaire, Mr. Carlos Aoa. Welcome to the show.
How's it going, man?
Good. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, of course.
So I want to give a shout out to someone off camera right now. Is Ana Lee, and I met her through Central Valley Latino Leadership Academy, and she said, hey, I can get you some great guests, and I was like, really? And so then she brought in a superstar like on her first. Thank you very much. So Carlos, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
From Visalia, California.
Were you born and raised in the Valley?
Born in LA, but raised in Visalia.
Oh, Visalia. Okay.
Yeah.
Redwood High. Where'd you go?
I'm sorry. Raised in Tulare. Now I live in Visalia.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
Tulare Union.
Tulare Union. Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And so then, at what point did you start to get into entrepreneurship?
Honestly, a little bit after high school ended. So my mom, she had room and board homes, and then she wanted to get out of the business, so I took over that and expanded that to 4 homes. So we have 4 room and board homes for mentally ill.
Oh, okay.
And, then, and that's how I kind of got into it. Started working for myself, and then after that, I bought the laundromat. I own a laundromat in Visalia, and then started Airbnbs, and then a social media channel, and then kind of juggle all of those at the same time.
That's a lot. So I want to make sure that we get all the links and the accounts for you. So we're going to make sure we add those to the description. But if someone wanted to find you on social media, what would they search?
Just Laundromat Money. So Laundromat Money is on YouTube and on TikTok, and then Laundromat Money Official on Instagram.
Okay.
And on that, I just basically show how I run my laundromat, how much money it makes, what I do to make it successful, and things like that.
That one is the one that I watched. Ana Lee had sent a link to your YouTube channel, and like the first 5 minutes, I was like, I think I can do this. You make it just very straightforward, no fluff. Mm-hmm. The numbers feel real. Sometimes I'll watch some of these entrepreneurs and they're like, I made $1 million in 3.5 seconds, right? And I'm like, what? But yours felt very real, very matter of fact.
Yeah, there's a lot of videos where I go through and I just show the gross revenue, but then every month I do like the breakdown of my net profit, the expenses, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of the videos are just like collecting the quarters or collecting the
cash. No, I watch you literally take the quarters out of the machine, pour them in, and we're all trying to count. Yeah. And then you always have numbers there. I think you have a real good eye for what the audience wants to see. Because as soon as I'm thinking about what I'd like to see from that, you pop it on the screen. You have all these graphs and visuals. So I want to applaud you for that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Beyond the laundromat, let's just start with this. What made you decide that you wanted to document this business?
After I bought the laundromat, maybe a year afterwards, I was on TikTok or Instagram, one of those, and I saw a video of a guy doing the quarters, like dumping up the quarters and talking about the business as I was doing it. And
you're like,
and I
was he local as well?
No, he was in Ohio or something.
Okay.
And then I saw the views. It was like 5 million views, and I was like, I'm literally doing this right now. So I got my phone out and started recording it, and then I got really lucky. That first video did really well. It got like 1 million views or something.
Your first video got 1 million.
The first one, yeah.
We're done, Jim.
Jesus, right?
And so then and that was on TikTok. And so after I posted that, I just kept on posting more. And then, the other ones didn't do that well. Just the first one. But I was running off that high of getting 1 million views.
Yes.
And then so I just kept on posting. And then it started a snowball effect from there.
Bruh. Now, bruh. TikTok, I believe you have 2 million, right?
2 million followers.
That's
TikTok.
amazing right there, man. Good job on that.
Thank you very much.
And your YouTube, you have, I think, something like 115,000 subscribers.
Yeah, YouTube, I started like a lot after TikTok. It really was just, I wasn't thinking that I was going to turn it into a business or like be an influencer, quote unquote. I was just posting videos and getting views. I wasn't getting paid or anything.
Yeah.
And so after I started getting paid from TikTok and started really realizing that it was an actual business, I'm like, okay, I better branch out to these other social media platforms.
Do you have a team, or is this a solo act?
No, it's just me. I do everything on my phone.
You just figure it out?
I just record it on my phone and then edit on my phone.
Really? What do you use for editing?
CapCut.
CapCut. Yeah, you're very well.
Yes, I know that very well.
It's just really easy on your phone, And so I just keep on going with that.
Well, one thing that I've noticed about you, and yesterday we were talking about this as well, like a lot of high performing individuals, they don't, number one, overthink or overcomplicate, right? A lot of us, we overthink it, we overcomplicate it, so we never take that first step. You said, oh, I guess I could document this, and I just put it on my phone. It was, you know what I mean? It's a very matter of fact. Where does that mindset come from?
It's not something that sometimes people think that you have it right away. Now you got to do it first, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes you, like with the room and board business, I started off with just the one, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to keep on doing this, and it'll be a good paycheck or whatever. But then after you start taking risks and they start panning out, then you start realizing, okay, this can really take off. And then I kind of just, whenever I start something new, I know that there is no half in, half out. If I don't give it my full attention and really pour myself into it, then it's, I mean, it might work, but the probability is really low. So whenever it comes to like some type of business venture or anything really in life, whenever I decide to do it, you just jump straight in and
go all in.
And if it works, it works. Thank God, you know. And if not, then at least it wasn't because I didn't try, you know.
Yeah.
And so whenever I started the social media, you know, it really helped that I got a lot of views in the first one, obviously.
Yeah.
But once I decided that I wanted to do it, and then I just started making 2, 3, 4 videos every day. That's it. Boom. My job was making videos.
That was it.
And that's what I would do. And then I just, you know, there was a ton of them that really didn't do well at all. But consistency really helps out in both, you know, how to shoot the video, how to edit the video. The videos get better over time. And then I just kept on going with that. Same thing with the laundromat. When I bought it, like, okay, this laundromat sucks.
Well, why did you choose that type of business, laundromat?
Honestly, it was just for sale. It was for sale 5 minutes.
You're just driving by,
and it was cheap. I bought it for $65,000. I found it on Craigslist.
Wow, Craigslist.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh, okay. Younger audience members, Craigslist was kind of like Facebook Marketplace before that existed.
Yeah, and I don't recommend it because a lot of scammers.
Is it still around, Craigslist? Still?
Yeah, it's still going.
There's it became such a subculture. I don't even know if you remember this, Jim, but there was like the Craigslist killer, and right there was my most. Well, let's share this real quick. Because I know we all purchased something on Craigslist at one point. What was your most outrageous purchase on Craigslist?
Well, the laundromat. For sure. Yeah.
That's pretty outrageous. Yeah. What was yours, Jim?
So not a purchase, a trade.
Trade?
I traded, long story short, being in the media, I had a whole bunch of old cameras, a lot of old antique cameras.
Which you still have upstairs.
And I still have a lot of them. And I found this guy. I was looking for a generator, and I found this guy who had a generator who's selling it for $250. So I called him. You know, I messaged him. Just, do you have it? You know, blah blah blah. And in fact, I don't even think Craigslist was you had an email or did you text? I don't remember. But anyways, he said, yeah. And I went over there and started talking to him, and I had the money to buy it from him, and we just started talking. Well, he was a Vietnam veteran, and he shot video at during the Vietnam.
He has footage?
He was a photographer.
Oh.
And so I said, well, that's my background. He goes, you by chance wouldn't know, or in the media at the station, know of access to any of these? And he said the word of one of my cameras that I had. And he goes, an Igigami it was like a 1986, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And he goes, I need the parts, and they don't make the parts anymore. And I said, I have 3 of them in my garage.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, off camera, he was just referring to someone else as a hoarder.
Yeah.
He has 3 of an obscure camera that can't even be used
I'm
anymore.
a photographer at heart, you know.
Right?
I'm a video guy.
This is is it the kettle in the pot? Is that what it is?
Well, and so he goes,
he has 3 of them, not one.
So there
3.
were parts that he could not find on eBay, on anything. And I said, well, let me go get one. And I brought 2. And I said, which of the 2 models? And he goes, that's the one I had. And he gave me the generator.
Wow.
He goes, you could have the generator. I need that camera. And so, yeah. So that was
camera.
And I came home and my wife's like, did you buy that stupid generator? I go, no, let me tell you what I did.
Alex, no, that's great. There's the thrill of it too. My most unique purchase, this was, I want to say about 15 years ago. My cousin, she passed, right? And obviously, you know, sometimes he's very inspected and everybody was strapped for cash. And for whatever reason, my mom, she said it very, just very matter of fact. She's like, hey, look on Craigslist for a coffin. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah. Found one for $300 and helped with the funeral. Like this guy dropped it off. We drove it back to the Central Valley.
Was it used?
Well, no. Okay, so here's the backstory. The backstory was that they had designed it for a gentleman who he was Irish. He wanted it green and he wanted certain things on it. Well, they didn't like the finished product. And they said, well, we're not going to buy it after all. And so this guy got stuck with this custom made, coffin that he had created. So we purchased it. They brought it to the house and it was all surreal. Like, is this really happening?
What was the cost?
$300.
Oh, $300.
And it felt like heavy wood, like it didn't, I don't know. It didn't, you know how that what's it called now? Like a plastic or whatever they use now.
Well, everything's fiberglass.
It felt, I don't know, this felt wood, like maybe the outside of it, but yeah, very unique purchase. And I kind of forget that even happened until I talk about it.
And that was on Craigslist.
We got to do a whole Craigslist episode is what we got to do.
That's interesting.
But getting back to Carlos and what you do, you have the laundromat, you have the Airbnbs, and what else do you have going on?
Room and board homes.
Room and board homes.
Mental health room and board homes. So those three and the social media.
So that's a lot. Now, have you always worked for yourself or?
I was a waiter my whole life.
Oh, okay. We're at.
So,
me too.
Different places. So I started at Apple Annie's as like a busser.
Apple Annie. Is that still open?
Yeah, in Tulare.
The delicious pies, right? They're known for their pies.
Yeah, apple pies. And then I went over to Red Robin. And then I moved to Miami, lived there for a year, and then
that's a big
Miller's Ale House.
Hold on, time out. Jump to Miami.
Well, my dad moved there.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was Miami like?
It was great. I was 21, living in Miami. It was
perfect time.
It was fantastic.
Wow. And what were you working at there?
Miller's Ale House.
Miller's Ale. Is that a chain or is that just a?
Yeah, it's a chain, like Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, okay.
And then I moved back here.
Biggest tip? What was your biggest tip?
Biggest day was like $500.
Nice.
Yeah.
Any celebrities come to your table at all, or?
Not as far as I know. No, nothing crazy. Yeah, it's kind of like a Buffalo Wild Wings for like the price point was really low.
Yeah.
But it worked for I was 21 out there just hustling, so it worked out.
And at what point did you decide, hey, I'm going to work for myself?
Well, when I came back, I worked at a dealership, and then after that, I started helping out my mom a lot with the business, and then she retired. And then so I just took that over and then started realizing, okay, I can make some really good money off of this rather than going and trying to figure out what I'm going to do, or going to college just to say that I'm going to college and figure out maybe I'll get something out of it or not. Because I had no idea. I just knew that I wanted to make money, but I wanted to make money on my own terms rather than just going and trying to figure out what I was going to do. And so I started with that and then expanded that and then got into, and bought the laundromat. And then just dove into that, and then from there just kind of opened up an Airbnb, a second one, and then everything else just fell into place.
Has everything always been solo, or do you ever have partnerships?
No, solo.
Why is that?
Everything. Partners are tough. If I want to take a risk on my business, I'm going to take it. And if sometimes the partners don't have the same vision on how they want to take the business or whether or not they want to take that same risk. If I want to do like a free day, I'll do it. I don't have to ask anybody. I'm just going to say, okay, if I want to make it an investment into the business that costs a lot of money, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. I don't want to have to check in with anyone. I just want to do it and then see if it works or not. And then, and then also like, I don't know, when it comes to money and other people, in the beginning, it's always nice. But then when it starts getting real, you have to kind of figure out, do we actually, it's like a marriage, you get into a partners, you're literally married to that person. You have to run everything by them, make sure that everything is on par with them.
Yeah.
And
are we married yet? Is that what happened?
Oh, you guys are married. you don't know it yet, but you are.
Yeah.
But sometimes it worked out really, really great. You guys have the same vision, same everything.
I think, we're both very ambitious on this.
Other times it doesn't, right? And so I just, for me, it's easier just to not have a partner. And then, of course, to scale.
Well, but it feels like you tried it at some point. No. So you just speculated this is how bad it's going to be.
No, I just know how bad it can be, right?
But how if you never tried it?
I don't want to.
You just see other people?
No, I just don't want to. It's like
no, I get it. But there's no experience based off this. It's just your perception.
I haven't had a partnership and had it fail. Right. I haven't had a partnership before. And
But you
because
hear other people and you go, oh.
I've heard several horror stories from, just other people. Right.
Yeah.
And so I just don't want to deal with it. And so I don't. At some point, in order to scale faster, you have to take on partners.
That's what I was thinking too.
And so so right now I'm not really interested in it, but if the right deal comes across, and then I'll hop on it. But at the moment, I'm cool with just not having any partners and then scaling slowly by myself.
Yeah.
And then if I need to take on if the reason for getting a partner is money, then I'd much rather partner with a bank. Than just get a loan.
Here's a part that I'm thinking about right now because, as a teacher, right? We're both educators. Jim gets sick. I get sick. We call in a sub, right? Carlos gets sick, right? God forbid that happen. Long-term hospital care. Everything shuts down. You know what I mean? Like,
if I'm the one boots on the ground running, like, in the business, right? Thank God that's not the way I run my businesses. So
you have employees.
Yeah, in the laundromat I have employees. With the room and board, doesn't require employees, just contractors to like fix things at the houses and stuff. Airbnbs, it's all contractors as well.
So the mental health one, do they have like mental health facilitators that?
It's more of like rooms for rent type situation.
Oh, okay.
But it's catered towards the mental health community.
I got it.
And so it's a group living environment. But so a lot of my tenants are mentally ill, have schizophrenia, different things like that.
Yes.
And so it's really hard for them to find housing because people just don't take those types of individuals. And then
never thought about that.
So
You're right.
That's your targeted audience. That's your clients.
Target clients for the room and board homes are the mentally ill or people that fresh out of the hospital, elderly, things like that.
Yeah.
And then it's low barrier to entry. It's a little more in the rent, but there's no deposit required. If they're on Social Security, which most of them are, then you have a guaranteed income.
Yeah. See, that's right. That's also isn't that also the situation if you have Section 8 housing?
I've never done Section 8, so I'm not too sure.
Because the way I thought that worked is if, let's say I have a property, I want to rent it through Section 8, the money's being covered monthly through the government assistance, as opposed to, having to collect a check. And
this one is specifically like they get their Social Security, and then they pay me out of that, a portion of their Social Security.
Oh, okay.
So whatever the rent is, they pay it to me.
Wow.
And then, but that doesn't require any employees at all.
Yeah.
It's just them living in the home. If I need to do anything, I'll call someone to go pick something up or drop it off, or
Do you do all the handyman stuff on your own, or you have somebody?
I have someone do it for the most part. Sometimes I'll pop in and just take care of it if it's super easy. Mostly for the Airbnbs, I'll do it. Because those are a little more niche. Because I was telling you before, I have that arcade Airbnb.
Yeah, we would talk about that.
When an arcade goes out, I can't really call a handyman to go fix the arcade.
Let's talk about that for a minute, because I think that's a really cool thing that you have there. So Carlos was you were telling me that you have an Airbnb, right? Mm-hmm. So I was kind of picturing like, okay, like nice patios. And This is like a full-on arcade theme. Mm-hmm. What inspired that?
Well, I knew that I wanted to do, so I already had an Airbnb before I opened this one up.
Yeah.
And it does okay. I kind of just lived in the house, and then when I rented it out the house, whenever I rented the house out, I just left the home, and then it came back when it was done being rented, and then I would just use that to pay for my electricity, my mortgage, my utilities, all that stuff. And then I would just only rent it out a few days out of the month.
Yeah.
But then once I knew that I wanted to make another one, I know that the Airbnb market is saturated. There's you go through Airbnb, you scroll, and you see.
Does Visalia have a lot of properties, Airbnb?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's a
gateway to the Sierras.
Yeah. I think we got a lot of the business from people that come for the Sequoia National Park.
Well, I want to pause for a second there, because I don't know if you've noticed that, Jim, either, but sometimes I feel really bad about this. So we all live here in the Valley, right? We're like an hour from 3. Right, national parks, not just regular national. You got Sequoia, you got Kings Canyon, you got Yosemite, right? I think when you're close to it, you don't go nearly often, right? It's like if you live next to Disneyland. But when I go, here's what blows my mind. I don't know if you guys have seen this. So let's say I'm going for the day, Yeah. There are people from Sweden and Germany. And I'm like, oh my God, these guys came halfway across the planet for this place. And here I am an hour away and
They're spending tens of thousands of dollars to come and do the whole thing. And we're here next to three of them. We don't go ever. Yeah.
But doesn't it like remind you, like give you a new appreciation?
It's like having a pool at your house. You want a pool your whole life. You have one at your house and then you never use it. You know?
How often do you swim in the pool?
Oh, well, it's new to us, so we do it all the time.
Oh, okay.
I was about ready to jump in it before you guys got here.
Jim has the fountains. That's really cool. No, but you're right. So do you get a lot of people from out of the country?
Yeah. A lot of my people that rent both my homes are are going to this Koi National Park.
And do you have any particular country that is there all the time?
No, it's just everywhere.
Because I find certain places, right, when I go to touristy spots, I always ask them, like, hey, do you have any frequent flyers? And he's like, I don't know why, but everyone from Germany stops in our shop. What I found out is that, like every country has its own TripAdvisor version, right? And so if I put a really good review about a spot that I went to in California, anyone else from that country will read that and go, oh, when we're in California, we got to stop at, this spot. And so then you get a certain population that's coming all the time. Like that candy spot in Three Rivers. What's it called? Three Rivers. You go out there, it's got chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Reimers or something?
Reimer. Rhyme. Everybody knows to stop there. Yeah. Right? That's the spot.
We do get a lot of people from LA. LA comes along.
LA, okay, yeah. I could see that.
And then, but whenever I was trying to figure out how I wanted to do this Airbnb, I would go and look at the listings, and it was the exact same thing. Every single one. Nice house, furnished nicely, maybe a hot tub, maybe a pool table, but that's it. And I was like, man, how am I going to get into this saturated market and actually try to rent out the homes? Because until then, I was just renting out my home on 1 or 2 weekends out of the month. I didn't care about occupancy. Yeah. But once I have them both going, I have to really care about it. And so I decided on a theme. I was like, okay, arcade games. I love arcade games. If it doesn't get rented out, I'll be able to stay there and I'll play the games. Who cares? Wow. And then I did a themed bedrooms. So it was Star Wars themed for the master, and then Mario themed for the kids' room. We're
gonna, we have to do. We're gonna have to put a link to those pictures. Oh, yeah. Because you're describing is one thing, but to see it, I was really impressed.
And then so
I want to stay there, and I live 30 minutes from Visalia.
What I was envisioning is like people are scrolling on see where we're gonna stay.
Yeah.
And then they will not though. I wanted to put something that would stop the scroll. Like,
that stops the scroll.
We better check this one out real quick. Is it out of our price point? Is it near where we're going? Who knows? But I want them to check it out. To see if that's something they want to do. And we get lots of people that say that we were gonna get a place in Three Rivers, which is like right next to Sequoia's, but we did yours because it's way cooler.
Way cooler. Then that's a brilliant.
Excellent. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. Yeah.
You know what I think about sometimes, and this is just because, like the horror genre, right, Jim? Have you seen the Airbnb horror films? There's one called Is it called Barbarian?
Barbarian, yeah.
Barbarian, right? Did you watch that?
That one's crazy.
And you're like, great. So have you seen Barbarian?
No.
Spoiler alert. Here we go. So this guy, he rents an Airbnb. Well, he shows up and there's already an occupant there. And they're like, great, we got it on the same night. It's a gal, right? And there's kind of some chemistry there and they're hanging out, right? And then in the middle of the night, I don't remember if they discover this back door or how it happens, but there's like a back door, Jim, that leads to a tunnel. And there's a whole like cave structure. And there's like, some people living in there. And when I watch these films, I go, this can't be good for business. Like they scare the hell out of people.
It's interesting. So we've done 1 or 2 Airbnbs, and we did one in Canada. And it was my first experience. I was like, okay, whatever. Les was like, it's just down the road. We're downtown, wherever we need to go.
Alberta. Where were you?
It's Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's a big city.
Yeah. So, anyways, but we were staying at the same time the gentleman lived there. So he rented out the back part of his house, and we heard him. And so my daughters and I were crawling. We got on our hands and knees and looked underneath the door that went into his part.
Why would you do that?
Just to see if we were like, because we were told he wasn't going to be there.
Oh.
And so he was there, and we were watching him through underneath the doorway.
Yeah, see.
And we could see him in the morning eating breakfast. He went to work. He came back, and we're like, this is so not cool. You know, like it. So it made us tippy toe in the rental that we were, getting. And there was no incentive other than we were less than a mile where we needed to go every morning to go to our excursions and stuff.
So he had 2 kitchenettes, I'm assuming?
Yeah. So he had added on part of his house. It was a 2-story house, but he came downstairs to eat in his kitchen, and we heard him walking down the steps, walking down into the kitchen.
Yeah.
And it was not, it ruined our whole like thought of no one being there. And it was kind of like, so it's my cousin, he has a 5-bedroom house in Texas, and he rents that out for his mortgage for his home. And he's upstairs, but he has a staircase that comes out from his master bedroom that goes down on the side of the house.
Yeah.
So, but he's there. And I was telling him the same thing. He goes, "Oh, no, it doesn't bother. They don't care if I'm here or not." And I go, "Yeah, it would bother me, because I don't want you there. I don't want anyone there." But
So just to clarify, Carlos, you don't live in any of these Airbnbs.
Not while they're there.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
So hey, you guys rent from Carlos, you get the whole spot to yourself. To me that would be a little bit tough.
Yeah, what I did for the longest time in my first one was like I'll have a little closet where I'll have my personal belongings, like I don't know, shirts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then whenever someone rents the place, I would just lock it and leave. The cleaners would come, get it all cleaned up, and then the people would stay there. When they leave, I'd pop back in and stay there for a few days and then go somewhere else, For me, my Airbnbs are just like places that I can pop into and stay at whenever
it's really cool.
Whenever no one's there,
Yeah.
And then so right now I'm making 4 more, and so it'll be nice to have like 6 places around town that I can just pop into whenever no one's staying there and then crash for the night or something.
You're making 4 more Airbnbs?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, the themed one's just doing so well.
Yeah.
It's like
do you have other themes in mind for the future?
Yeah, well, one of the big one that I'm doing right now is 5 bedrooms, about 3,000 square feet, and I'm doing Harry Potter themed. So it's gonna have a full arcade in that one as well, which is why I was talking to you about those arcade games.
And
then it's full arcade, and then every room is gonna be like one of the Harry Potter houses.
What inspired that Harry Potter for you?
Well, whenever I think about themes, I think about what has a cult following. No matter whether you're male or female or what age you are, you'll still like it. And so Harry Potter is one of those things.
Yeah,
I really like Harry Potter. So it goes back to like, you got to like what you do, right? So I love Harry Potter. So it'd be really easy for me to make a really cool Harry Potter themed house.
So I'm assuming you've been to the Universal Harry Potter.
No, Universal, I haven't been there. No.
So they have one in Hollywood, right?
I've seen all the videos on them. Yeah, I've got a lot of inspiration from those for sure.
Yes. You definitely want to visit, right, as you're building this thing, because there's a lot of great visuals there. But my brother-in-law, he was the manager of the restaurant there in the Harry Potter world. Mm-hmm. So we go about once a year. So I'm well versed in that whole thing. So if you want to talk about the wands and but the crazy part, I've never read one of the books, not one.
I've seen all the movies.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why it just didn't draw me. I thought it would. Like, it's right down my alley, but for some reason...
There's so many of them, you don't know if you're watching 3, 5, 7.
Is that what it is?
You don't know
Star
which
Wars.
one you're in. It's funny because my wife just texted me and I asked her, I said, who was we just watched the show, 50 Places, and this guy named Ryan Tran. He's like a big-time YouTuber, and he was doing Airbnbs, all 50 states, one night. And he went around and he was collecting money as he went for, I went blank on it was a woman's,
breast cancer awareness?
No, it was the beating, or, the
domestic violence.
Domestic violence, something like that.
Yeah.
But I forgot the name of it, but his name is Ryan Tran. And he went to every state and he stayed in an Airbnb. And then he had a trophy for the best Airbnb for the end of the whole tour.
Yeah.
And we got addicted to it because we wanted to see what the Airbnbs were. And it was so funny. One of them, they stayed in an airplane that they converted the inside of the airplane into a living facility. And some of them were underground bunkers.
Did that win?
No. No,
The airplane didn't win.
And he had done so many of them, but there was one that was way out in the desert, and one I forgot the states. There were just so many of them.
This sounds like New Mexico.
But he turned it into a Tatooine Star Wars facility, and it was more like everything was Star Wars. You know, you were driving these. He had scooters that were available. He had all these things that were available for him. These places that they went to, a tree house. It was an acorn that was in one of the states that they went to, and it was a tree house that was built into an acorn, and it was so cool. But if you ever have a chance, you want to get some ideas.
Yeah.
This guy just told. I mean, his places that he went to raised money for the fundraiser he was doing, but he was judging based on how elegant and how the excitement.
So what was the winner?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me that. So let me get back to you. I'll text less and find out what it is. Yeah.
So Carlos, you're gonna have these 4, and I'm assuming they're all gonna have different themes, or just
Yeah. The Harry Potter's the one, and then Avengers is gonna be another one.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
And then DC is gonna be another one. For
DC Comics.
Yeah. And then the 4th one, I'm not 100% sure. I want to do like a Tim Burton theme, you know?
Oh,
like a gothic type.
that would be huge.
You know, that
huge.
way.
Look, I think he's got. Do you have the Tim Burton shirt on right now?
Yes, I do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, The Nightmare Before Christmas alone has a cult following, but all of the movies, right?
Yeah, Beetlejuice, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Well, have you
that's gonna be
a
huge.
little bit of everything. You know?
I'm gonna stay at that one.
Yeah.
Have you stayed at the Madonna Inn going to Pismo?
Yeah.
That the themes that are in those rooms
Each one has a different theme, right?
It's
That's kind of
crazy.
That's a great. And here's the thing about it. I've noticed, and this isn't all of them, but some of these, the theme carries such weight that the quality doesn't even have to be there. For example, there's this clown hotel out in the middle of Nevada. You guys heard about this? But the beds are not really nice. It looks like it's not well taken care of, but it's got a theme, right?
It kind of reminds me of like when you go into like up in say in the Sequoias. If you got a place in the Sequoias,
Yes.
it's like a rusty, crappy little cabin, but you're in the Sequoias.
Exactly.
Right? So it's like,
Yes.
okay, I'll, whatever. I guess it really depends on the price.
You're right.
You know? So
Location.
if you're being gouged, if it's extremely expensive, then it better be nice.
You want some quality.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's a combination of the two. It has to be quality with a good theme, and that's the only way you're going to get really good reviews and repeat business. Because people, especially during peak season when they pay a lot of money, you want to be able to charge the most. And the only way you can charge the most is by being the best. And if you charge the most and you're not the best, then you're going to get complaints. You just don't want to deal with it.
I've experienced that as a customer. For the laundromat, typically, who is your average customer? Is it someone who's just renting a place that doesn't have it? Is it college kids?
You know what? No, we have. It's hard to say who our average customer is, but because we get young, old. We have a lot of Hispanics because we're in Visalia, and so we have a very large Hispanic population, and then a lot of elderly as well. I've noticed, but as far as like ethnicity and age, it's really varies. I've noticed that we got a lot of people that have their own washer and dryer at home, but they come in to do everything all at once. Or they come in and do.
I didn't even think about that.
They let it stack up. We see families come in, and then I'll just start talking to them. They're like, "Oh yeah, we got it at home, but we didn't want to spend the whole weekend doing laundry, so we're just going to do it in an hour and a half and get out of here."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, that makes sense."
Did you do the laundromat when you were in college?
We had some in the dorms.
In the dorms.
I will tell you that this is where it matters to me. Having been a laundromat person in the past. The cleanliness of the place, the environment, it says something because I'm washing my clothes there, right? And you can have a very unrelated, not filth, but whatever you want to call it, dirt in the corner, whatever, and you associate that with the entire place.
It's true. Yeah. Whenever, when you step into a laundromat, the first thing people notice is how clean it is.
Yes.
Am I trying to clean my clothes in a place that's dirty? How is that going to work out? And then also are the machines working? Even if the machine they want to use is working, if there's a bunch of machines out of order, they associate that with, okay, they don't maintain this place,
Yeah.
So cleanliness, aesthetics, and working machines are like the main things. And then keeping up with the cleanliness is probably the number one thing because it's so difficult to keep up with it.
Yeah.
And so just having, right at my place, we have someone on site because we do wash and fold, which is like laundry service. and then so we have they're able
nice.
to keep up with the cleaning and everything. But if we didn't have laundry service, if it was self-serve, then we would just have to have someone go in every day to clean and make sure that it's all taken care of.
That's nice. I want to go there.
Yeah.
When it comes to, because here's the thing, right? You're washing your clothes. This is what, 20 minutes, 30 minutes?
Yeah,
on average?
about 20 minutes for the wash.
What are they doing for those 20 minutes? Are they reading books? Are they watching TV? Are they?
Yeah, well, we have a little free library. We have a little. So we partnered up with a few organizations. I think the Elks Lodge in Visalia and also the Laundry Cares Foundation. They come by, give us some books, and then we put them up. But they're more for the small little cases. You know, they'll give us like 10, 15 books, but the library that I set up was like 1,000 books. You know,
that's pretty big.
I've been going around like Marketplace and then and just put posts on Facebook, just trying to get some books to be able to put in, and some people come by.
I have some for you.
They don't. Oh, if you have some, I'll take them.
Yeah, she knows.
Yeah,
right, Annalie.
And so we'll go around and just start getting books from the community, from the Visalia library, and then so we put those up for people to use, whether or not they're doing laundry. Mostly it's just to put books inside of people's homes, because people don't really read books too often anymore. They're watching TV, TikTok, Facebook, stuff like that. And then especially for children, children are on their tablets all the time. There's some type of
kids open a regular book and they start trying to slide.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, wait, no, that's a page.
Yeah. They put out some type of statistic where it's like the average child under the age of like 12, this percentage of them have a book at home, and it was like really, really low. So that was one of the things that I wanted to do whenever we started it up, is like, put it up there. When people, and I told all my attendants, when people come and the kids are reading a book, tell them to take it home, finish it, bring it back, or don't, whatever, we'll get more books. And so that's what,
promoting literacy. I like that.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. And, it's a perk, people come in, they know they can read books or whatever. And then people, they treat it like a library. They take a few books, 3 or 4 books, and they bring them back, grab more books. Sometimes they don't even do laundry. They just come and trade out books and then leave.
That says a lot when you hang out there. You're not even washing clothes.
Which is really cool. They don't really hang out there. They just come and swap out their books.
Yeah.
And then they leave.
We have to go see your place. Where's it located?
In Visalia, California, right there.
Downtown area or
Mooney Boulevard.
You're on Mooney.
Mooney and Whittendale. So
we used to cruise Mooney.
Yeah, right by the A&W right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay, I know exactly where that is.
And so we have that, the little free library. We also have a TV with a little gaming console, like a retro gaming console. Oh,
nice.
People can play that for free. And then, and then that's kind of it.
So, Rob, a couple things. Leslie texted me and said the Oklahoma was a tree house that was up to 50 feet up in the air. That's where the Airbnb that won. And I don't know if you knew this, but when I was in high school, I used to work at a laundromat. And I used to clean it.
I thought I had a lot of jobs,
yeah,
but
I did. Well, my job was to clean all the machines, wipe them down, and
steal the quarters.
And I used to think if I could take a quarter out of every machine, I'd have like $20-some every, whatever. But it was just a thought. But no, I didn't touch the money, but I had to mop and I had to clean all the stuff and make sure. But it was a boring laundromat, and I used to always think there's no TV because it would be it was a roasty. They would steal it, So it was one of those things. It was open door. I would lock the door after midnight. It would be closed. And but yeah, I used to always think like, God, if there was something more attractive here that would get people to sit. And my question before earlier was, did you wash your clothes? But I used to love going to my apartment. That's where I met everybody. You start meeting people. Hey, what are you doing? Where are you from? And you start meeting, and that's kind of your social. Yeah.
You have music playing? Carlos, in your spot?
No music, no.
It's just TV, library.
Yeah, TV, library. We have a little speaker up in the ceiling, but it just plays like alerts and like announcements and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Now, are you in the vending machine game? Is there some vending machines that people can buy while they're there?
We've got 3 vending machines, one for like soap, softener, and stain removers.
Oh, I forgot about this. Yeah. Of course.
And then sodas and snacks.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna mention a guy to you. I don't know if you've met him or seen his stuff. His name is Rez the Entrepreneur. You ever heard of Rez?
No, I haven't.
So he's a YouTuber, social media, TikTok, Instagram, and he's based out of Lemoore, but very similar to you. He'll chronicle his different businesses, and he did vending machines and bubble gum vending. I don't know if he did laundry yet, detailing, car detailing, but you guys remind me a lot of each other in the sense that you have that true entrepreneur spirit where you see something, you have an idea, and you just try it. You don't let all the hangups and fears that come with that. So I'm going to try something new here. It's called the top 3. You ready for this, Jim? I want you to give me your top 3 positives of being an entrepreneur and your top 3, we'll not call them negatives. We're going to call them obstacles or things that can be, that can kind of challenging.
Okay. Well, the top 3 positives are, number 1 is the freedom, right?
Yeah, your own hours.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. People say, I'll start my own business so I can make my own hours.
Yeah.
But then you start your own business and work all the hours.
But you
do have the freedom to set your own schedule and make your own decisions.
So Carlos calls Carlos. Hey, I'm gonna take a sick day.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. That to me is number 1. That's everything.
Yeah.
So I love that one.
Number 2 is the money, right? You can make a lot of money.
You're not limited. You don't have a fixed paycheck.
Exactly. And then number 3 would be, if you have employees, then you're creating jobs, right? So not only, you don't think about it when you start. You're like, okay, I want to make money, so you got to do this and that. Now I don't want to do all the work, so I got to hire somebody. But then after you hire a few people, you start to notice, oh my God, this is how they're supporting their family. And so you're creating jobs for the community, you're creating jobs for people that they go from being your employee to being like basic. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, it's family, but they turn into someone very close to you because you've known them for years and they're a really good friend. And so now instead of making money for yourself, now you're making money for 8 to 10 people.
That's a really cool feeling.
Yeah, it really, it makes it to where like this business can't fail, because if it does fail, I'm not just putting myself out, I'm putting out everyone else.
That's a big responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be the 3 challenges?
Challenges. Well, one is the cost. It's expensive.
Startup cost.
Yeah, startup cost is expensive. Almost, unless you really bootstrap it with something very inexpensive. But for like getting into a laundromat, it's extremely expensive. And the biggest barrier to entry is the money. And then, so it's the money, right? The money's not
the investment.
The investment costs a lot of money. You're not, and I guess tied to that is you're not making money in the beginning. You're reinvesting, so you won't see the fruits of your labor for a while. So
would you say months or years?
I mean, it depends on the business, really. So like for the laundromat, so I bought it for $65, put another 20 or 30 into it, but then I'm continuously putting money into it. So sometimes a year, sometimes 2 years until you can really see some money come out of it. And then, but for another business, depending on the overhead, it depends. If you can make it within a year, start seeing profit, then I feel like it's a good gig.
And that's why I'm a little skeptical when you see like online, you'll see, hey, start your business today in 30 days. I'm like, 30 days.
In 30 days, you can't even buy a business. It's like, but anyone can start a business at any point. But to really start seeing profit come in, say if you buy a business for $100,000 and then the first month you make $5,000 in profit, you're still in the hole in $95,000.
Yes.
So
if you do the math,
if you really do the math, then you have to see when you're actually going to start making money.
Yeah.
Over your investment. And
you brought something up right now that I want to mention, and I'm sure you've heard this term. I have a friend, actually, Jim's best friend, Willie Alvarado, right? He said something, Jim, I don't know if you've heard him say this term before. He says, look, I know people get excited about wanting to have a business doing something they love, but you have to be careful that you're not just turning dollars. And I go, what does that mean? You go, well, I was telling him I want to do fresh produce in small communities. He's like, produce has a really small price point profit-wise. So let's say you buy $3,000 worth of corn, right? By the time you sell it, all you did was make back your $3,000, right? So you're just turning dollars. Mm-hmm. And even though you love it and you're providing a service, it doesn't create a living for you.
Yeah, or, buying a business or buying a job. You got to really think about what you're doing. Are you buying something that you're going to be in there 24/7 working for less than what it would cost to get a job at Walmart? Walmart's hiring right now.
But I'm my own boss.
And it's free. You don't got to pay to work at Walmart.
Yeah.
And so those are the kind of the trade-offs from being like an owner, like a self-employed to a business owner, right? So if you're in there, you have to see the vision. Are you going to make money off this without having to be the gears that operate it, right?
Yes.
And then so another con, I think, for a lot of people that are just starting off is not knowing the taxes, like how to really do your taxes in the beginning.
How did you figure out the taxes?
The hard way. I paid them. And I'm like, oh God, they sent me the bill.
So would you recommend getting an accountant early on, or?
Yeah, at least getting advised by an accountant. So whenever you're going to start something new, just get some advice. How should I do this? How should I set this up? And because whenever you're starting a business, you're getting paid like a 1099 contractor. If someone pays you $1, you have to claim that dollar on your taxes, especially if they pay with a credit card or something. Yeah. And so at the end of the year, you're going to get this bill from the tax man, and you're going to have to be able to pay it. And so knowing how you're structuring your business and figuring out everything, everyone has their own unique tax setup. So talking to someone and figuring out exactly how to set up your business, how you're going to do your expenses, your profit, how you're going to kind of set everything up, then it'll give you a good way to know how much are you going to pay, how much are you going to get as a refund, or if you're going to get a refund at all.
It's a little scary.
First few years, I didn't know anything about it. I was like, all right, whatever. I'm just going to keep on.
How many years are you into it now?
Well, I've been I've been in business for about 12 years.
Wow.
For the room and board homes. So I figured it out already. Kind of. But there's always something new, right? Once you get into different tax brackets, start a new business, it's always a different set of rules for that business. And
these are good problems, though, to be in a different tax bracket.
Yeah,
right? You don't want to be in the same tax bracket from year one.
Sometimes you make less when you hop into the.
You're like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Wow.
So with the laundromat, it's like it's a lot of equipment, and so you can depreciate that stuff, and then there's different ways that you can just lower your tax liability, even though you're making a lot of money. But if you don't know any of those things, or if you haven't talked to a professional about it, then you're just putting it all towards here's how much money I made this year, and then you get a tax bill for an ungodly amount.
Is that is that kind of what we're hearing with, like, sometimes you have entertainers, right, who are millionaires, and you're like, how's he in tax trouble?
Yeah,
it's because they didn't have an accountant.
They make $1 million, and then they get a tax bill.
They spend $1 million
for $300,000,
Oh my!
And they got to figure it out, and then you got the interest and penalties and all that stuff that really stack up on top of it.
Wow.
So my first few years was rough. I paid a lot of money to learn these lessons where I should have just paid an accountant to advise me. Well,
you're saving somebody money right now by sharing this. Thank you for sharing with our audience.
Yeah, well, it's going to be, it's something that's overlooked by almost everyone. And then they get the bill at the end of the year, and they're like, oh God, okay, I have a few months to pay this. What am I going to do?
Wow.
Or they do everything as earned income, which is the highest taxed out of everything, where there's different ways you can structure it to decrease your liability.
Wow. I know that there's Eddie Perez. I'm sorry, Eddie. We'll put the link to his place there in Visalia, and they do a real great job, for me at least, answering some of these questions. Jim and I are not monetized yet, but we're kind of like looking at what that's going to be like. Mm-hmm. Right, and with how it affects our marriage.
With social media, it's a lot harder not harder, but like harder to get write-offs, because for myself, I do everything. I'm just doing my job, and so it's I don't spend much money on. That's the beauty of that, the lack of investment, right? It's great, yeah, right. So it's just time. Right? I'm doing a lot of raw footage and editing and all that stuff, and I post it, and then it makes money. I'm like, okay, great. So like, say if I make $10,000 one year. What am I going to use? What am I going to do to decrease that liability? Oh my God, there's no write-offs there. So I got to, that's the difficulty in going into a new business and trying to find out how you can expense a few items or buy something to, at least I'm buying something and getting something out of it rather than spending that money on taxes. Yeah. So for you guys, it would be like cameras or like whatever, paying someone to come to the podcast, or going and meeting someone to do a podcast, or different little things that mileage. We gotta claim our mileage. Yeah, mileage. Yeah, hell, yes. Mileage is a huge one.
So, okay, that's good. So thank you for sharing the pros and cons. As far as the social media aspect, like we always look at Jim more than I do. I'm not gonna lie. The analytics, like who's watching your channel. So who's your average follower?
60% male, 40% female, United States mostly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
the age range is like, I think it's like in like 35 or so, like that bracket, whatever they put it on.
I'm assuming these are people who might be considering becoming entrepreneurs.
That's exactly it. Yeah. Well, my content romanticizes the prospect of owning a laundromat. It's all about, here's how much money my laundromat made in the past 8 days. Here's how much money my vending machine made in the past 2 weeks. Here's how much money my laundromat made in profit in the month of October, you know? And so it's kind of shown, and my laundromat's successful. So it's not like I'm showing bad numbers. So whenever people are watching my content, they're like, man, it's kind of a good business, you know? I kind of want to hop in.
It looks good to me. I get all these quarters.
Yeah, they're, oh my God.
I can go to the arcade for, you know.
Yeah, and so they're the whole, my videos romanticize it. So they make it intriguing. And so if not all of the people that watch my stuff, they want to get into some type of business, whether it be a laundromat or something that's relatively passive in their minds.
No, I love it. And I love the fact that you break it down to make it seem attainable, you know, because I think we all, to some degree, who are not in the business, we talk ourselves out of things before we even start. And to have someone out there who's really showing the nuts and bolts of it all in a very understandable, comprehensible way that makes it real for us. I may not buy a laundromat at one point, but I definitely want to do something. Watching your videos, I'm like, I think I can do something here.
Well, with any business, there's people that make videos about it, right? So they're like, here's a day in the life of this business. And then, but what they're leaving out is like their profit. Or they'll tell you, I made $2,000 today. Oh, you made it in gross revenue. What'd you make in profit? You know?
Yeah.
So one of the big reasons why I think I have such a huge following, people like my stuff, is that every month I do a profit and loss breakdown. Like, okay, you know, of course, a bunch of my videos were like, here's how much it made in the past 5 days, and that's all gross revenue. But then at the end of the month, I just show the real numbers of here's how much money it made in
after I paid the bills,
that revenue, and then I break down all the expenses, and then a profit was this much, you know, and then they're like, okay, shit, that's what goes into it, you know. But we're doing real well, so it's like it's always a decent profit, you know. And so I think it makes them want to do it even more. You know, they're like,
and I think, you know, the other thing that I see for you might already be doing it. You'd be like a great mentor or coach for up and coming entrepreneurs. Is there anyone who you kind of coach up in this?
I've done some mentoring before, mostly people that want to buy a laundromat and don't know how to start or what to do. And so they like, hey, can you help me find one and negotiate the deal and this and that? And so I've done a few of those. Mostly though, I'll just do like consultations where they'll call me and they say, okay, how do I value a laundromat? How do I find one? What are questions to ask? What are some red flags whenever I'm looking over the profit and loss? Or they already have the profit and loss and they're hey, can you go over this with me and find some questions to ask the owner? Does anything stick out that I should be worried about? Things like that.
Do you have the teaching bug at all? Where it's like, I want to impart this wisdom, and I
mean,
because that's ultimate legacy, right?
Yeah.
After it's all said and done,
it's just hard work whenever you're actually, you know, a full blown mentor, you know. So I did it for about 3 or 4 people, and it's just an ongoing thing, right? So they pay you a lot of money, so you want to make sure that you're giving them value, but it takes a long time, especially with the laundromat. It's not like a 30-day thing, you know. It's like you got to go and do due diligence, and you got to find out is it a good deal or this, and then you have to pass on it, and then go to the next one, find that one, kind of. So it takes a long time, and it's not something that I'm super interested in, so I don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But the phone calls are easy for me because most people have the same questions. They want to know exactly what I broke down to you a little bit ago, and then those are I can repeat those over and over again. And there's a few questions that are deal specific, and then so whenever they want me to go over like a profit and loss, then okay, where is it at? what do they have a wash and fold business, and then okay, let's break down these numbers. But the phone calls are relatively easy, and then once the phone call is over, it's over. If they have another question down the line, they can just send me a message.
Yes,
and I'll just reply to them on that. But it's not like an ongoing thing where I feel this pressure that I really have to perform.
Like a full relationship.
It really is, yeah. And then and then sometimes the person loses the bug, right? They've paid you all this money, and they're not really doing their part.
And now you're having to carry.
And I'm like, I'm not gonna find the laundromat for you, you know. And so that's why I kind of got away from the whole mentor teacher thing, and more into the one-off. I'll give you advice on your specific deal, because every deal is different. And so I'll give you your advice on your specific deal, and then if it moves forward, I'll continue to help you with the remainder of it.
All right. So as a teacher, right, we're working on these career books right now. wearedreambuilders.com is the name of the website, and these two gals put together these books, and they give you all these different skills to be able to identify what your passion is. And a lot of it's self-reflection, right? And so it's like, are you introvert, extrovert? Are you spotlight? Are you background? So we're going to throw some at you, and you tell me where you fit in this. So on the scale of introvert and extrovert, where do you land on that scale?
Extrovert for sure.
Extrovert for sure. So you enjoy the connections and the people.
Yeah,
and whatever.
yeah. It's easy for me to be outspoken and meet new people, I think.
Yeah, I feel that from you. How about the background or spotlight? Which one do you prefer?
Ooh, background.
You like,
Yeah.
you like to be in the back.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, right into the thing. Well, I also think from the background you have advantage point where you get to see it play out. Because when you're in the mix, right, sometimes you miss something because you're actually doing it. So yeah, I can see that. Oh, what was the other one we had? We had another category I was going to ask you about. Oh, facts versus emotion. Which one do you?
Facts.
You're all about the
100%.
numbers.
Yeah. It's for me in business. It's important for me to leave the emotion out, because if I make an emotional decision based on, let's say, one of the big ones is an employee, right?
Yeah. Oh, I love this guy. He's gonna be great.
Such a great person, but they're a terrible employee. What do you do? God damn it, what do you do?
That's true.
You got to fire them. That's what you got to
Yeah.
do. So it's one thing that I've learned in this business, and I think it applies to any business that has employees.
Yeah.
Is hire slow, fire fast.
Ooh, Jim, bumper sticker.
There it is.
We talk about these gems that our guests share. Hire slow, fire fast.
Do an extensive hiring process, 2 to 3 interviews with a ton of people, and then hire 1 or 2 of them, maybe 3.
What are you reading in those interviews? What are you looking for?
Whether or not they're gonna be long-term. Do they need a job for now, or do they need money right now, or do they need like a job for long-term? There's a lot of people that are applying for positions they don't want just because they don't care. They need a job right now.
Oh.
And then they'll be gone in 2 months.
And you have to retrain and cost you more money.
Exactly. And then another thing that I try to look at is, are they going to mesh well with the employees that I currently have?
Yes.
Because they're going to be working as a team a lot of the times. Is it going to be an issue? And
do they work well? Do they play well with others?
Exactly. Yeah. And
what's the most odd interview you've ever had? No names, but just like
odd interview.
Yeah. Like the.
Oh man. You know what? Nothing sticks out.
Nothing sticks out.
Not odd, but I guess odd in the fact that this guy he looked homeless. He didn't dress. He
didn't dress up. Dress for success.
He didn't shower either. It was a whole. It's like, I think he just came.
Was this for the laundromat?
Yeah, we were doing open interviews.
Yeah.
And so I think he just kind of heard about. I think he was homeless, honestly. And then he just got in line and
so here we
came in and interviewed. I'm like, oh my god, man.
So he's like a 5-star employee right now.
Yeah, exactly. He comes into the interview,
Wow.
But making another huge thing is like when you a lot of the times people don't even show up to the interview, or they show up late. If they show up late to the interview, don't hire them.
That's already.
Yeah, and then the reason why I do many interviews is, are they going to show up on time to all of them? Are they going to show up to all of them? Sometimes.
Oh, you're looking for consistency.
Yeah, that's a
Got it.
Well, other than like the obvious things, whenever you're hiring someone, you ask them questions. You know, there's a lot of people that we feel that might be good employees, and so we'll put them through for the next interviews. But if they don't show up on time, then you can't hire them.
Is it a solo thing, or do you have your other employees with you for those interviews?
Oh, I have my manager do the initial ones.
Oh, okay.
And then I come in for the final. So they'll do one real quick open interview style. You know, just we want to figure out where you've worked at before. Do you have a resume? Why do you think that you'll be good for the position? You know, anything that sticks out. And then we do them really fast, those first ones, just to get the initial impression. They can say what they have to say, get them out, 10 minutes tops. And then we'll do the second one where we actually ask in-depth questions.
Yeah.
And then the third one will be with me. And then
so it's 3.
Yeah, usually 3. But if we really need to hire, we'll just do the 2.
Have you ever had it where it's just the first one, you're like, this person's perfect?
Yeah, but
did it work out?
No. We've done that several times.
Okay, so don't do that.
We kind of like.
I love that. I loved her.
Yes,
she was great.
We have those people all the time.
So they interview well.
They interview extremely well. They'll come in. We're like, this is the person. I don't think we have to continue interviewing. It's never worked out
because they don't actually walk the talk.
Exactly. They'll interview real well, but then they just don't do well in the position.
I know people like that where they're constantly trading jobs, but they're always getting rehired. And I'm like,
yeah, you know,
are they looking at your track record?
You know what a huge con in a
oh, we got to hear
resume.
this.
Well, it's how many jobs have they had in the past year?
Oh, okay.
You're looking at their resume and they have 2 months here, 1 month here, a month and a half here, 3 months here, 4 months here.
They're hoppers.
They are not going to be staying at your business. You know, you'll be lucky to have them for a year.
The job hopper.
Exactly.
That's what it is. Wow.
Yeah, and then those job hoppers are expensive. You know, I was telling Annalie this a little while ago. Is nothing's more expensive than a bad employee.
Oh,
nothing. It's I mean, you could have, you know, a mainline break cost you a couple grand. You can have you know, this or that, and then it'll be extremely expensive one-time expense. But if you have a bad employee, they will cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. They'll whether it's like retraining new employees, or they're stealing from you, or they're you know, driving away customers, or anything really. It's
you're dealing with cash, right?
Yeah. And so there's different ways that you can be robbed for sure. But if you have a bad employee, you never really know. You don't find out right away. You find out after the fact, and by then you've already either, if they're stealing, they've already robbed you blind.
Yeah.
If they're like if they're just a bad employee not doing their job correctly, then they've already been doing that for a very long time. And so that's why I say fire fast. If you find something like someone's stealing from you, you fire them right away. If you see that they're just not going to be a good employee, get rid of them right away, and then find someone.
So how does that work? The firing part, like how do you say it?
That part's easy. Take the emotion out of it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So you just we're inviting you not to return tomorrow, or how do you word it?
By the time that we're
hold on, let's do this. Fire me. Okay, I'm coming. I'm coming in.
Okay, yeah, I'll do it.
I'm Rob, and I've been showing up late, and I'm stealing from you. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Carlos. I'm surprised to see you here today. What's going on?
Hey, Rob. I'm gonna have to let you go, and you have the final check.
Just like that? That we're bros. Like, what's going on?
Sorry, performance.
So just real
performance. That's it.
And don't get into.
I don't get into anything
because then it's a back and forth.
They always ask why, but usually by the time that someone comes in, I'm firing them. They know why. We've had multiple talks with them about things, you know, and then now we're calling them in when they're not working. They know they're getting fired, and so
you just performance.
I hand them their check, and they're what's going on? What? Oh, I'm sorry, performance.
And that's it.
Yeah. Well, what specifically? I'm not going to get into that. I'm sorry. It's just performance.
You know what I think of when I think about firing someone? I think about Jerry Maguire.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah.
And when do you remember that, Jim? I'm not going to freak out. He takes the goldfish with him. He's like, anyone going with me?
Yeah.
Do you ever
help me help you?
Yeah. Well, did anyone ever give you like a big monologue, or is it just like
the first person that I hired that I fired? because she was there for a while before I bought the laundromat, and then she was the only employee I had throughout.
Oh, I see. So you inherited her.
I inherited her, but it turned out to be, it just didn't work out. You know, we gave her multiple chances to, you know, it wasn't theft or anything. It was just performance. It really was performance.
Yeah.
And then, and so at the very end of it, I just gave her, you know, called her in, told her, I'm sorry. I gave her some severance too. I was like, look, thank you for being here while I took it over, but we just can't move forward. And then, and then she really got,
because she was
upset.
probably married to the job, right?
She got really upset about it, and I'm sorry, it's performance. And she knew why, you know.
Yeah.
And so, and that was it. You know, the rest of them already knew basically, or they just didn't cause a scene or anything.
Is that a tough part of the job for you, or you're okay with that?
No,
side?
I'm okay with it. If they're not a good employee and we're letting them go, it's because they're not a good employee. And
so you don't feel, you don't.
No, it's one of those things where we've already we've given them chances. We always bring someone in whenever we see that they're not doing a great job, and we coach them onto how to do a better job, or we ask them how can we help you, you know, do this quicker or do this more efficiently, or do or whatever the problem is, and it's usually after the second time that we've talked to them, then we just call them in, and then it's not, you know,
it's not going to work.
If I can hire someone and have them train and do a better job than you're doing right now within 1 month, then I'm going to do that.
So we're both educators, Jim and I, right? And the question we're always asking is, how can we better prepare our students for the real world, being good employees? What is a common thing that you see amongst employees today that is missing, that maybe at the high school level we could do a better job with?
You know, honestly, the biggest trait that I see from people that really do work out is that they're willing to learn new things. Like, we tell them the way that we do something, and they want to learn how to do it, and then they show up on attendance is like the number one biggest thing.
Hear that, kids? You heard it here.
You have to show up to work, you know.
Yeah.
Whether or not you show up to school, you have to show up to work. You know?
Yeah.
And so if they're not showing up on time, then that's an automatic, you know, getting fired. But for the people that do show up on time, it's being able to acquire new skills, or try to learn it. You know, if they have the want to learn it, like, so for us, it's like washing and drying and folding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so they come in and we're like, here's how we do this. And they're like, oh, I think it would be better this way. I'm like, oh, no, we've tried it that way. We have to do it this way. And they're like, okay, no problem. And they start
be coachable.
Exactly. If they allow us to train them,
yeah,
and then they are coachable, then we'll give them, even though in the beginning they might not work out that well, we'll give them a shot. But if it's someone that's just coming in, they continuously go back to the way that they were doing it before because they think that's the best way. And I'm sorry, you have to do it our way. And then just allow us to help you in this way. Like, please do like this. It's a lot faster. It's a lot more efficient. And there's certain people that do not take it well. Like, whenever we give them constructive criticism, they take it the wrong way. And I'm sorry, we're not picking on you. You're doing it wrong. You know. And being coachable, you put it the best way. Being coachable is the number one biggest trait that we look for.
All right.
Because even someone that has apps, they've never folded a sheet or a towel in their life,
but they apparently know it better than.
Well, right? I mean, but if they're coachable, then we can work around that.
Yeah.
You don't need experience to work in my field. You just need to be able to learn it.
I love that, and I think a lot lot of part of it's ego, right? Like, Carlos isn't going to tell me how to do this. I know how to fold.
A huge portion of that is ego. Yeah.
Because
they feel that they know the better way, and we tell them, no, we're going to do it this way, and then they don't like it, and we continuously tell them to do it, and they think we're picking on them. And I'm sorry, we're not. This is just, you're doing it the wrong way. This is work. You know, we're all here to make money. Like, you're here to make money. We're here to make money. I think we make more money if you do it this way. And then,
that's a good way to put it.
That's just
we're all for the same goal.
Yeah, it's no one's there for free, you know. So it's all the same, and they understand. You know, I only hire adults. I don't hire anyone like under 18, and so it's they know why they're there, and they know why we're there. We all know why we're there. It's to make money, you know.
Yeah.
And then my goal is to pay them as much as possible, because if I'm paying, if the more that I'm paying them, it means that they're making me at least double that. And so if someone's making me a lot of money, I'm going to make sure to pay them because I need them to stay.
I like that approach. I remember, Gary Vee. You heard of Gary Vee?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
So Gary Vee's social media audience, if you guys haven't seen Gary Vee, check out his stuff. But he's a social media guy, entrepreneur. And one of the things that he said once, and it kind of really stuck with me, is he says, don't ever expect anyone to love your business as much as you do. Because ultimately, you're benefiting more than anyone in the room. Mm-hmm. But you want them to love it as much, right?
Yeah, there's no way. I've learned that 80% is enough. No one's going to give you 100%. They'll give you 100% for a little bit, but you can't expect 100% from someone day in and day out. It's just not going to happen. 80% is good. If someone gives you 80% constantly on the daily, then I consider that a win.
Be average employee. It's good.
Yeah, exactly.
In school terms.
Well, that's what I mean. No, because they're not making what I'm making.
They're not making A plus money. They're making B plus checks. So
what I'm saying is like at the end of the day, I'm the owner of the business. So I'm going to be benefiting the most off of them.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to pay them a fair wage, what I think would work for me and for them. But I don't expect them to go 100% every single time. There's certain times where we'll probably need 100%.
Yeah.
But I don't expect them to do it every time.
Well, you know what I think's played out, Jim? I don't know if you hear this. Jim, if you say this as a coach, no judgment, but right, when people say, give me 110%.
Okay.
So wait, all I have is 100. I don't know where that 10's going to come from, even if right?
Give you 110%, but you're paying me 60%. What do you mean?
Or even from your athletes, right, as a coach.
Yeah, no, I don't want to ask that much. I want 60%.
You want
I went above average.
Wait, you said 60?
Yeah, I always
give me a
say
D
60.
plus effort, okay?
Yeah. 60% and I'm happy.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Carlos, for taking time. I know time is money for you, so we appreciate you giving us your time.
Of course.
And we value that, and we want to continue to help and promote and collaborate in the future. So any links that you want to throw out there that we'll put into the description that people should be able to look at to really get a feel for what you do?
Really, it's just a social media, which is Laundromat Money on TikTok.
Laundromat Money is what the search would be. What else?
And then Instagram is Laundromat Money Official.
Okay. What's the YouTube channel called?
Laundromat Money.
Oh, very simple.
There it is.
I love it. See, that just simplify the whole thing.
Yes, sir.
Wow. So thank you so much for being here. Audience, if you guys want to check out more about Carlos, look up Laundromat Money. Airbnbs are out there as well, so we'll put all the links to his businesses, and you guys should be writing down some of this entrepreneur stuff. I don't look for people. Jim doesn't look for people who are thinking about doing something. We have people who are in the trenches, actually profiting and doing the work out there in whatever area of expertise they have. So we're very grateful for this. You guys should be taking notes and learning and getting out and following your dream as well. Until next time, this is Rob Izquierdo with Jim Chance, a.k.a. James Chance, and Mr. Carlos Aoa saying love, peace, and chicken grease. We out.